Big debates playing out across the country last night in Pennsylvania, New York, and in Michigan.
I do support fracking, and I support fracking, and I do support fracking.
John Fetterman, during this crime wave, has been trying to get as many murderers convicted and sentenced to life in prison out of jail as possible.
She still hasn't talked about locking up anyone committing any crimes.
Okay.
Anyone who commits a crime under our laws, especially with the change they made to bail, has consequences. I don't know why that's so important to you.
I'm pretty sure I just heard an audible gasp around town when Gretchen Whitmer said that kids were out of school for 3 months. We even had schools that were closed this year.
I see politicians try to wedge communities against one another. It is dangerous and it is selfish. Do you really think books are more dangerous than guns?
Marc Goldberg is a Pennsylvania voter, Sean Kilcullen is a New York voter, and Amber Roseboom, a Michigan voter. All three join me now. Let's go around the horn and get reaction to the debate in your state. Marc, let's begin with you.
Hi, Todd. I got to tell you, it was very, very difficult to watch. John Fetterman clearly presented that he's not physically capable of serving in the U.S. Senate. I'm a registered independent, and generally these debates are not for the ideologues, right? They're for the people that are somewhere in the middle and really want to hear from the candidates. And I don't know how anybody in their right mind who are in the middle, like me, could possibly vote for John Fetterman. It was unbelievable. I feel sorry for him that his campaign and his family put him in that position. It was really, really difficult to watch.
Your entire answer seems to be the main takeaway from last night's Pennsylvania debate. Sean, over to you. What'd you think of the New York debate between Hochul and Zeldin?
All she did was say how bad Trump was the whole time. Whenever he asked her a question about crime, whatever, she goes, oh, she just referenced Trump and how he's linked to her. Now, how do you answer questions like that? She doesn't care about anything that goes on in our state. Nothing. It's out of control. You showed the guy before getting pushed onto the tracks. She doesn't want to put more people in there. She wants to keep people out of jail, not use bail. Why? What's wrong with bail? It only affects criminals.
Amber, finally to you. What do you think about the Michigan debate?
Sure. Thanks so much for having me. So this was the second debate this cycle. And before the first debate, Governor Whitmer was sitting on a double-digit lead over Tudor Dixon. That has vanished, and the race is now a virtual dead heat. I think it's because of what we saw last night. Look, Tudor Dixon was the clear winner. She's speaking directly to the concerns top of voters' minds: inflation, the economy, gas and groceries, and parental rights. Gretchen Whitmer was largely defensive, and I think that came across through the entire debate. In fact, she was pretty dismissive in some ways of Tudor Dixon and the question a lot of voters have about her record.
Yeah, along those lines, Whitmer really wanted to make this debate about abortion. Is that what the men and women that you associate with, your friends, your neighbors, your family, is that what they're talking about as their number one issue right now, 2 weeks before the election?
I mean, no, I would say largely it's inflation in the economy. That said, the Democratic Governors Association and the Gretchen Whitmer campaign have spent about $25 million in advertisements, and most of it is focused on abortion. The first question last night was on Proposal 3, which is the most extreme, radical proposal facing voters anywhere in the country. It's supported by Gretchen Whitmer. It would create a completely unregulated, unrestricted right to abortion in Michigan's Constitution. And it goes much further than that, in that it would allow minors to begin puberty-blocking drugs, hormone therapy, gender reassignment, sterilization, and abortion, all without parental consent. This is what Gretchen Whitmer stands for.
Can't imagine that flies in the Midwest. Meantime, Sean, that line I want to focus on. I don't know why that's so important to you when talking about crime. Huge error there, Sean, but also a huge admission that she truly does not appreciate what the people, specifically of New York City, but all throughout her state, are going through when it comes to crime, right?
She was a governor who wasn't elected, and she wouldn't have been elected because all she cares about is the big issues that people think that Democrats think that people care about, and not the things around the table that actually affect us in our regular lives, like safety and crime and taxes. It's insane. I don't understand that.
Mark, finally to you. I do know people, and I'm not going to say who going into last night's debate said they were going to vote for John Fetterman because they did not like Dr. Oz. Can you envision any of your friends and neighbors still making that decision after what we all saw last night?
I can't imagine that. I guess the only way that I could see that is if somebody's just so committed to political ideology that they're just going to make excuses for it and believe that, well, maybe, he'll be fine by the time he actually is in office to serve. I certainly couldn't do that.
Mark, Sean, Amber, giving us a good view of what the people think, the voters, the ones who are going to make this decision, think about those 3 states debates. We appreciate it. Thank you.